Lisa. When I do travel pages for my albums, sometimes I have sort of a title page for that kind of leads into the trip, and sometimes I just dive in and start telling about what we did when we're traveling. I think these title pages very often happen when it's a group activity, where it's a family thing or whatever. In this case, it was my parents and my husband and I on a trip, and I have already scrapped some of this in other videos that I've done, but I had this 5x7 photo of the four of us, and I wanted to make it into a page, and I thought it would make a good title page for the trip. I'm going to do some supporting photos also, and here's my kind of unconventional sketch. We're going to have our 5x7 in the center, surrounded by circles of either photos or designer paper or jelly prints or something. I don't know what to go around this. And I want to make it so that this center photo really, really does stand out. I could have used photos from different parts of the trip, other things that we did. I've already done a page that kind of picks up some of the little moments here and there, so I thought I would stick with the photos that went with the place we were when this picture was taken. I had tons of photos. It's very rare for me to go through and just pick out a bunch of 4x6s and send them all to print. But I wanted my mom to have a set of the pictures, and so I did that, and I think I printed like 100 pictures from a 4-day trip. So I still have quite a few left. I thought I would cut these into 3-inch circles, and I just chose ones that I had not really focused on when I did the 2, or I think it was 3-page layout that went with this particular location. As I said, there were a lot of photos and a lot of beautiful things to see. So I'm just going to cut some of these out and use them as supporting pictures, but I really want this to be the focus, and that's why it's going to have a mat, maybe even a little larger one, I'm not sure, that's here. And I could put some design. I have some die cuts that have designs in the top and the bottom. I just thought of that would be really pretty to use as a mat for the photo, or as a frame for it. And then we'll have a ribbon around one of these, so it sort of looks a little bit like a wreath, and this is sitting in the center. I need to pick out some papers to go with this. I think I'm going to look first at some of my jelly prints, because I think that would be fun. I just spent some time yesterday jelly printing purples because I didn't have any purples. I need greens for today, so let's see what I have in greens. I have lots of green papers, so if I don't have anything in the jelly prints, I probably have something in the green papers. Cut some 3-inch circles and just see how this is going to come together.
The next time I do jelly prints, I should probably do some greens, because I didn't have as many things as I thought that I would have. I use them a lot, especially for nature pages. It's often hard to find pattern paper that I like for these kinds of looks. So I did pick out a few, and I'm going to pull some 6x6 papers as well and do a few of those. It's okay for me to have more than one circle out of the same paper. I think that's alright, maybe no more than 2. These are some greens that's kind of broken down from 6x6 pads that I'd used most of the papers out of. There was one there that was a green wood grain, but unfortunately it was a little bit too blue, and I didn't end up using that. So we're deciding on my 3-inch circle for cutting. These are Creative Memories cutters. I could cut these, of course, on the silhouette, but it's a little bit easier to use a cutter like this when I get to the photos. Kind of get an idea how this is going to look with the photo, main photo, and then the smaller ones I'll just be doing a 3-inch circle out of something that's important out of the photos, some flowers. There's one tree there that had a real odd shape to it, and that's why I took the picture of it. So just some little odds and ends from this location, which is a garden in North Georgia. Beautiful, beautiful place. I've done some scrapbooking about it before. And my other layouts called Gibbs Gardens. Now for this main photo, I debated about whether to use the blue right behind the photo or the green. The green made my mother's outfit really pop, and she really came out in the photo, and the rest of us sort of faded in the background because we were wearing blues, or I think I had on lavender. But I decided to do the blue because her green top kind of made her photos stand out anyway, and then the rest of us didn't get quite so lost. I've cut a large circle here. This is, I think, a 10-inch circle, so that I have a place to sort of lay my circles around there and keep them even as I go around. And then the brown is a frame that I cut on the silhouette using some early espresso, I think, cardstock from Stampin' Up! For that brown. And now we can just sort of start laying things out. The background paper was one left over from a floral collection. I just happened to haven't used that full sheet with the blue and the green polka dots. You don't see a lot of it, but I think it was a nice fit for this page. Kind of getting a feel for how this is going to come together, and maybe moving a few things around so that I know I have my photos kind of evenly arranged, and then have a place to put the title and the little bow that I wanted to add. It's also placing the photos so that the key elements don't get covered up, because some of them are going to get covered up. Two ribbons there. I ended up using this one from Stampin' Up! That's the chocolate chip color. Pretty old ribbon, but it's a pretty one. And we'll just wrap it around, tape it on the back, and then just tie a knot and a bow on the front side. And I say just, tying ribbon is not my best thing, and I very often end up doing this a couple of times until I get something I'm happy with. I've also been known to use glue dots to sort of force the ribbon to go where I want it to go. Alright, I think we're getting there with the ribbon. And then we'll just start pulling these down, kind of centering them over the edge of that large circle. That'll keep everything about the same distance from the side of the paper. And I want to make sure the photos are on top and not laying underneath any of this other paper. And apparently I still wasn't satisfied with the ribbon, and I had to dye it again. That was the third or fourth time. There we go. Yeah, we're gluing it down. And then we're getting ready to do the title. And I wanted it to say Georgia, and I thought I could sort of make it go onto the circle, kind of wrapping the letters, and that just didn't work with this word. Just kind of looked funny to me. So I ended up putting the letters across the bottom of the photo, and then I'm going to put the year that we did this on one of the circles. I was going to use some small mini market stickers there, but since I have a larger space, I'll just go ahead and use 2016 out of these thickers. And we'll put that on a little scrap of paper.
Alright, so this looks a little more dramatic on the sketch because I've got a lot more contrast here in colors. I tried to do colors in the papers that were similar to the colors in the photo in the background, if the background then matched those, so that it wouldn't really take over and the photos would stand out a little bit but not a ton. And I think the brown matte around the photo helps the photo really pop and not blend in too much to this background. But I like how this came out for a title page. I think it's fun. If I wanted to add some journaling, over in here would be a good place to add maybe a little bit of journaling, because in some of these other circles. So I got to use several of my 4x6 photos that I had printed to go along with this. And just a touch of embellishment. So we got a lot of photos on this page. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you'll check out my other videos. I have a new class called The Living Page, and other classes about using 6x6 papers or stenciling, all kinds of fun things. So check me out at lisaedesign.com. Thank you.